Yep.
I see what Larry's doing now. Nobody told me there was any camera. I charge $60 an hour.
Do ya?
It's a fucking mess. All right. So how many of you guys been here in this fire station before? A couple of you here and there. You guys have helped out with barbecues, I'm sure, and August Festival and things like that, you know, before. So most of you are from around this town anyways. I recognize some of your faces. First thing that we're going to do, just a little bit of respect for the building and stuff like that. We're going to have firefighters that come in here. We're with the pandemic, with COVID and things like that. I don't expect you guys to have Purell, but everybody's got masks on. Just remember, we are the responders that have to come here to go and save somebody. So if we're sick, there's nobody. And same thing with you guys. We also respond. We don't do medical calls and stuff like that anymore. So there's no COVID here. So, but just in that, let's all just kind of keep our hands to ourselves. A lot of the fire gear that we have is going to have air packs and stuff on, which will go towards people's faces. So we just kind of ask, you know, I'm just going to ask you guys just to kind of keep your hands to yourselves. If there's anything that you have, any questions or something that you'd like to touch or pick up or something, let me know. Maybe we can do something. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is I'll take you in. Normally the office isn't of any, you guys have probably been in the fire office before. It's usually a bunch of chairs and things like that. But now with modern technology and things like that, we do have a responding system now. So when you call 911 or you call the local phone number, what's going to happen is your call is going to go to either Holton or downstate. I'm not sure. I think they're working on this stuff. It used to be if you called on a cell phone, then it went right to Holton or one or the other, and there was a lot of confusion where when you call 911 and you're like, I'm in Washburn, and they're like, okay, is that in Maine? What county are you in? Yeah. Okay, clearly I called the wrong number. So they're working on that. What I'm getting at is now a lot of the things that we used to have, the radios and the pagers and all the extra stuff that takes batteries, a lot of this all comes across your cell phone right now. So when we get a fire call, it'll come across our pagers, but then it'll also come across the phone, and then we can push a button on our phone to tell the dispatchers without having to call or talk to anybody. And it's going to go right into that room right in there, and then it goes to the state police in Holton and everywhere else, I would imagine. Anybody that, if somebody in California or in Puerto Rico or something like that wanted to know where's Washburn Fire Department going to, theoretically, if they're on the same CAD system, which is going to be a nationwide thing, we'll all have access. National emergencies and things like that, we'll be able to coordinate things a lot better. You know, it's just like, I'm a little bit older, but like one of the big deals was September 11th. We had so many people coming in, so many people on different radio channels, nobody could communicate. So now, we can do that through the cell phones and everything like that. So what I'll show you guys really quick, we'll walk through, I'll just have you kind of come in and take a look real quick. And then just kind of do a rotate, and then we'll meet all back here. So workers first.
Well, I was thinking.
A little bit more. So I'll probably stick about 10 of you guys at a time in here. Let's try that. Yep. All right, so what you're looking at, you see right here, this is what's going to come up. It's going to tell us Washburn Road, Caribou Lake Road, Washburn, units responding. When I get a phone call, my phone goes off and it's going to tell me, oh, I have a fire. I respond, and then it'll come up there. And then it'll also, once you get in your vehicles and stuff like that, it's also going to tell me who's in engine 1, who's in engine 2, how many people do we have. There's been a lot of times where I've just responded and I'm on the radio yelling, is anybody else coming? And there's nobody else. Theoretically, this is going to be, we're going to have the display here, and then we're also going to have it out there, out in the bay, and we're going to have these in each individual truck so that we can communicate and see all that stuff. So, but that's pretty much what's going on in here. So, all right, if you guys want to rotate so some of the other guys can come in and take a look. You can go up there. You can,
Okay,
you
I don't
can
know
take
if I
it if you want to.
yeah.
It's okay. All right, next crew, come on in. Squeeze in. Come on in, come on in. See if we can get some more in. Basically, all you're looking at is this screen right here. So we control it from here. So what's going to happen is, this comes in, it's going to say incident number, whatever, latitude and longitude. That comes in handy. What happens if somebody's on a four-wheeler and they have an accident? Okay, what road are you on? I'm not on a road. Okay, how are we going to find you? What's the house address? I'm not near a house. Latitude and longitude. So, it's going to tell us what it's for, and it's going to tell us what's going on. Vehicle at stop sign, male sleeping in the car, overheating, flat tire, stuff like that. So it tells us what's going on. So with this call here, we need to know these things. We have a vehicle fire, but we have a male passenger or male driver unconscious in the front seat. So there could be so it turned out to be a car accident, is what it was. I think somebody just drove by and saw him sitting there, but we need to know those things because I think it had something to do with drugs as well. So, you never know what you're going to get into. You think that, okay, well, I'm going to go help this guy put his car out, and then all of a sudden, whoa, where's the cops? So, all this will come in, and what I was showing you guys down in here, whenever the firefighters respond, it comes right across their phone, and then you put on here, you just click a button. I'm going to the scene. I'm going to the station to get the truck. I'll be in this. So then what is going to happen on here is all these different pieces of equipment we have, engine 1, engine 2, the Humvee or whatever like that, I'll be able to, once we have people responding, who's in engine 1? We're working on it, this is all new, but that way we have accountability. Many years ago, some of the roads that we've had on the Everett Road, we had to block it off one time. We had a firefighter out there. We were there for about 4 or 5 hours. Tractor trailer had crashed. So we all got back here at the station and we realized, wait a minute, we're missing somebody. We had a firefighter still out on the other end of the Everett Road, and we're like, but this would tell us, wait a minute, who was supposed to be in the vehicle, and go from there. So this is what we're kind of doing. We're getting some of this. We're getting more equipment. We're going to have another monitor out in the bay, and we're going to try to have these in the vehicles as well. Crown Ambulance already has a lot of this stuff that comes right up. Basically, it just looks like your car stereo, and then it's all push button stuff. So,
do the police get the same messages?
Yes. So if you actually look at this one here, if you look down here. Okay, no, it's not going to show it. On mine, when I went into it, I don't know how to get on all that stuff. But when I go into my responding, okay, and then if I go to that past incident, if I can find it, incidents. It's going to say units attached, and then somewhere's on here. It's going to have the police department, what units are on here. But instead of getting this, we'll get both.
Incident number 210,319.
We're working on this too.
Number 200.
So you can hit that. But it's
active call number 143.
By the time we want to hear it, it's like, okay. But no, it does audio incidents. That's what I was going to play with. So we don't have to have
Attention Washburn Fire Department, this is testing your paging system. Please disregard this is only a test.
So that would be, let's see what this one is.
Attention Washburn Fire Department, please respond to the intersection of Washburn Road and Caribou Lake Road. In Washburn Road, Caribou Lake Road for a vehicle that is smoking. PD is en route. Clear 1509.
And when I saw okay, case canceled, that's why. I'm going to say that's why. Before it had the unit number and the police officer's number and then any state police that are attached to it. So that's the cool thing about this is that we could actually get called to Florida. And then this would give us directions to that. Since I've been here, I have responded to New Sweden for a huge fire. And I mean, when I came around the high school, I could see the smoke. So I'm going, holy, they're calling Washburn for New Sweden fire. And it was a big one. So this will be able to coordinate with that. And then like what I was saying out there, where we can actually mesh this all kind of get together. At the state police, they're gonna have a whole bunch of these screens, you know, with modern technology and everything that we have with the internet, they're just gonna be able to drag and click it and say, you know what, combine these units to the same incident, you know, with the numbers and things like that. So it's coming. There's a lot of times too, like when you hear that, came across my phone, let's say I'm sitting on it in the car. That plays automatically. I can't take my seatbelt off and listen to my pager and things like that, or play it back. This is helping alleviate that. A lot of times there used to be a dry erase board out there 20-something years ago. When we did get a phone call, the girls at the town office, there used to be a big huge siren. Matt used to do that. They used to flip that siren because we didn't have pagers and things like that. So if you were out working out in the potato field, that's how you found out about a fire or something like that. You'd hear the sirens. There used to be one at Kraussville, used to be one here. I think there was one up over the hill once upon a time. But you'd hear that and then you'd come running here. The girls at the town office would write down on the dry erase board where you're going. Chalkboard too. They had a chalkboard too. So and a lot of times you had no clue where you were going. And if there was no smoke to see, you don't know where you're kind of going, you know. So this will help out, especially with the latitude, longitude, you know, getting us to where we're going, you know. So
Back in my day, when I was a kid, they had an air horn. And that was from here and from Crappy Store too.
yes, that's right.
And it went by the number of blasts. And they had a card in our drawer at home, and you could pull that card and look at the number of blasts, and it would tell you
Yep.
what street it was on.
Prescott used to do the same thing.
Yeah.
They would tell you what street it was on. So that's kind of what this is, this here. So if you look, we used to have the pull boxes on here. What these little teeth are, when somebody pulled that, that would send it a little electrical, this is your Morse code stuff, okay? It would send a little ticker thing, and by the way that this, like a clock, this would tick, and then this would go tick, 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 and then by the number of ticks that somebody heard, you'd have to hear that going like that. Then you knew where it was. So here's the school, here's the barber shop, that's probably all Don's.
Yeah.
And then Wilder Street, that's a test. Churchill something, not Maine, because Farmer Wayne used to be on Maine. Wade. So if there was Main Street. If there was a fire on Main Street, this would go off. You had a fire on Wilder Street, that would go off. And when Wade, you guys know how big Wade is? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So now I've got 4 ticks. This thing goes tick, 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 and now I've got to figure out. We used to have a big map up here, big map, and then but things have changed. You know, properties changed, roads have changed, things like that. So, but that's yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day.
I'm telling you. Actually, the fire station used to be right across the street here, next to the library. There used to be a building in between there, big steeple on it. That's where they kept all the pigeons.
Yep. Okay, 2 trucks upstairs and 2 downstairs.
Yep.
When the ones upstairs backed in, the floor was buckled.
Yep, and that used to be a movie theater in there too. Yep. So.
And you'd go up and look at the pigeons and see what truck number is missing.
No, it could be February like this, and it'd be negative 50 degrees out there, and you'd have 100 pigeons up on that roof.
Yeah.
All the time. I remember that. You go between the library and you see all the dead ones. It fell in there, froze to death or whatever. So.
Let's turn that off, and then we'll turn it back on again when we get out there, and that way it'll reset it.
Press
Yeah.
that.